Okay.
Hello everyone, this is our third day of oil pastels. So the colors that we're using again, same as last week, will be these 12 colors. So white, peach, pink, red, orange, yellow, light green, dark green, blue, purple, brown, and black. If you want, you can peel some of the sticker off to if it's getting too short. And some other materials we'll have is paper, of course, pencil, eraser, and paper to wipe some of the extra colors on. So what we're doing today is a nice beach scene from Hawaii. This is not my picture. I wish it were. So let's get started. Today, if you feel like you can, if you want to sketch with a pastel, you can do that. But I'm just going to show you how to do the pencil sketch. It's just that sometimes I find that the pencil sticks out from underneath the pastel. But it is whatever. So the first thing that we're going to sketch out is the horizon line. So wherever the water ends, that will be the main reference line. I'll be putting mine right here. Just very, very lightly. After the line, you will want to sketch out the top of this little mountain over here. And the next things I will draw will be these palm trees. You don't have to draw every single leaf, but just show the general shape of the stem or the branch. So this one's kind of in the top right corner over here. Starting from the center, do a few. Kind of like fireworks. Just drawing the center branch. Don't worry about the leaves. And then you can bring the trunk down. Start sketching in the other palm trees as well. You don't need all of them there, but you want to show that they're getting smaller and smaller. For these tiny trees in the background, you can just show the general shape or the outline. Lightly scribble it in. These trees do not have to be accurate. As long as we know that they're there, then that's good. And then you want to roughly sketch in this ledge over here. So how does that look? It's kind of at a 45-degree tilt from your paper. I would make it too flat or too vertical. It's right in the middle. And when you're ready, we're going to sketch out the sections on the beach. So there's different sections. I like to do them by color. So this largest orange area will be the first thing. And then we have this lighter orange, which is just the sand getting wet. This section over here, so that's section number 2. And then we have the actual water. So we need to split this area into 3 sections. I would like to start with this line. Okay. And this shape is just kind of like a bunch of C's going down the side over here. And they get bigger when they get closer to you. Just lightly sketch out this division. So all of this will be this orange. And then next step will be drawing the edge of this wave that's coming in. So between the orange and the water, there's this line. So the first curve, I'm going to start at the bottom this time. The curve of the wave, it wraps around this little point. And stops right there. The wave goes up to the beach, goes back out again, and then back in. Remember to keep your lines really light. I'm just sketching darkly so you can light strokes. All right, and the last step to sketching this is I like to just lightly outline the blue areas in the sky. So just outlining these larger areas. And there's a little blue patch in the corner over here. There's one more area I'd actually want to outline. Is this pink area? What's essentially happening is there's a cloud and the sun's peeking through, or the sunlight's hitting it, and it creates this reflection of the water. So just outline this last part and then we can get into the pastels. Okay, and whenever you're ready, we're going to start with the sky. So today's a little different from last week. Last week, most of the skies were very heavy and very dark, but this is, as you can see, a very light blue. So what we want to do is just want to create some blue marks in the areas that we sketched out, but you don't want to fill it too heavy, just lightly scrape the color in, and then we'll blend it using some white and peach. Hold on, let me move this color in a little bit more so you can see. So first take your blue, and that's the only color we're gonna do for the first little bit. So with my blue, I'm going to just add some blue to the sky, holding it very, very lightly. If you have some extra random colors on the tip, wipe it off. And while we're still using the blue, you can add some blue to the mountain. But this color is kind of green, so don't press too hard just yet. So this is the mountain. So after you've put down the blue very lightly, we're actually going to use 3 colors at once. First one being white. You should have this peach. And of course, pink. We'll be using these first to fill in the cloud area. The white is the most important because it is our blending color. So you want to keep it clean, have a towel on the side. All right, so let's go ahead with our second color, which will be this peach color. And this peach color will go here, here, and on the edge of this, and also above the mountain. Leave a little bit of space for this orange. So with this peach color, I'm also going to go very, very lightly, making sure I've cleaned off any residue colors. It's nice and clean. And then just go in really, really lightly. This may look a little bit strange, the colors at first, but when we blend it out with the white, it will make a lot more sense. So just trust the process. Just doing the edge of this one. And then right above the mountain. Being very careful not to touch the blue because it could contaminate the area above us. And I think it's okay if you want to color all of this in because I think the oranges are actually really saturated for pastels. So it's okay if we go in all of this for now. Okay, and the next color is this pink. I'm going to clean off the edge. Okay, and this pink is going to go around the edges. So wherever the blue is touching the clouds, we're adding a little bit of this pink. I think that's enough color for now. Always good to start light and then work into the darks. So next step will be taking our white and blending all of this in, but starting from the peaches and into the blue. So don't blend the blue in. You want to blend the pinks and the peaches out into the blue. So first, let's clean as much as we can. It's okay if you can't get all of it. If your white is still in the casing, just blend it as it is. But I actually ripped this and it broke in half. So I'm gonna hold it like a chalk and blend it on the side. So sometimes you can do this, but you can also just hold it on the side and like blend it like that. So I'll be doing it this way because it's faster. Of course, you can always go back and you can see if I bring it closer, kind of, there's little holes in there. We have to do our best and just fill those out. Unless you like the texture, but that's different story. Just blend. Notice how I avoid touching any of the blue till the very last moment. Just so I don't have to clean the crayon every single time. Yeah, I don't have to leave this, you don't have to blend this part because it will be where the trees are. There's no point in blending it out over there. Okay, now you can start bringing in or blending the blue and the pink together, however you want. I like to blend the edges out first and then blend the blues. You can bring some of it in for variation. The more natural the sky looks, the better. Don't know. And if you think it's a little too dull, you can always go back and say, I want this to be a little bit more saturated. So you can take your peach again. And if it's already blended out, there's no problem just pressing really hard. So I'm just taking a peach and bringing back some of the color, especially in what I call these hot spots. Maybe down here too. Okay, and now I'm going to put the pink and peach back. What will really make the skies look more vibrant is adding this orange and also some yellow, and maybe also some peach along this area. So this egg yolk like color. First, I'm going to take the orange and just slightly sketch a little bit of an orange edge at the bottom of, this patch. Not all of it is actually orange. Most of it is just yellow and peach. Okay, just a light edge because we're going to blend it out later. So now I'm going to put the orange aside. The next color we'll use is the yellow. So the yellow just comes up to about this area. Leave a little bit of this this color along the edge. I'm going to take my yellow and just bring the orange out. I'm not completely blending, just adding color. Because if the yellow touches the blue, it may turn out a little bit green. But it's completely okay if that happens. Okay, so orange, yellow, we've done that. The next color will be this peach color. And this will be our blending stick. So just take it and make sure to blend above the orange and maybe not too much below. So we're just blending it out in whatever direction. I think you could use a little bit more orange. Oh, what is that? And I think if you have a paper towel and you have some random colors popping up, you can just wipe it off. Then blend it out again with the peach. All right, and I think the sky is mostly done for now. Let's move on to the bottom half of this image. So the first thing that I like to do after this step is block in the different or two major colors. This would be some of this peach color, and then this would be, of course, the orange. And of course, we always work from lights to dark. So take your peach now We're going to start filling in this area. And you might be wondering, what about this white part? Don't worry about that. We can add that white in later. But just imagine as if this was one whole chunk. Yeah, and sometimes if you use pencil, the graphite will blend into the pastel. So if you think you can erase some of it just to prevent that from happening. And whenever you're ready, fill in this area with some orange. Yes, you can press hard for this part. However, when you get down to this bottom area, I would still leave a little bit of um, just down here, not too hard, because it is a little bit lighter than this true orange on this side. So this, kind of like this area, just make sure not completely filled with orange just yet. Just like that. Okay, but on this side, you can completely press hard. Okay, and then next we'll take the peach once again and blend out this area. just filling out the holes. But try not to blend this with this because we want that clear line. Okay, next we're going to ignore this part for later. Let's get in more of the colors for the sea. So right now I think it's a little too yellow of a peach. So we're going to take the pink actually and just bring some of these more red hues back. And most of them will be up near the top. So take your pink and just, I'd say maybe just a little bit. And also, yeah, just all throughout this water, you can add a little bit more of this pink. And this could be a little bit more orange. I'm going to take the orange and just add a little bit, just a little bit. Because we don't want this part ending up darker than this. After the orange, we will blend it out with this peach color. Okay, and after I've added the peach, I think that this part, this edge could be a little bit more darker. So I'm going to take the orange and just sketch out lightly where the edge is, just adding a little bit more of that the orange tone. So after the orange, once again, blend with the peach color. Not too much. Okay, and the next step will be adding some of this blue and showing the ripples in the water. But also, we're going to block in the mountain right here because it is looking a little bit empty. So we have blue in this area already. So if you don't have it yet, use the blue and color it in. Not too much. Okay, so blue for the mountain. And then for blending it out, we're going to use this peach. Because this is not entirely blue, as you can see, this one's more greenish. So we're going to use the yellows in this peach and just blend it out. And you'll see the color kind of coming together, just like that. To bring in the outline just a little bit more, I'm going to take the blue. First, let me wipe off some of this. Take the blue and just go on the edge, just like we did with the orange. Just make it a little bit more clear where the mountains are. Okay, and the next step is we're going to keep using this blue. We're going to use the very edge of it to draw some ripples in the water. And how we're going to do that is just going to press lightly and drag it across, kind of wiggling your finger back and forth. And I'm pressing. Pressing lightly. So vary the pressure. This is probably the hardest part of this image because sometimes the blue can look a little bit awkward. As long as you have good placement, then it will not be a problem. it nice and light. And this part's really confusing. So we're gonna go really slowly around this area, making sure that, we get all the right tones and colors in there. So I'm not completely done the waves just yet. I'm going to take this blue and run it along the edge of this wave. So just below the light orange. What I'm doing is I'm creating the shadow that's coming below the waves. And for this part, I'm going to take the white and just really pressing hard in on the corners. So down here, don't blend out the blue, just add a little bit of a lighter tone at the corners of this wave. Maybe some up here as well. Pressing really hard to get that white back in. And for the next step, we'll just be drawing in the little random holes or the darker areas in the waves. So how we do that is we stipple our brush. So tapping it, but also dragging it in a horizontal direction. So this motion will look like this. You're just tapping it and then bringing the pastel back up. You can also go in the other direction. Let's just tap and let go, almost like you're making a dot on a page. These parts could be a little bit darker, so I will press a little harder with the blue and drag for a little bit longer. So just this line that I want to bring in. You can use the same technique along over here as well, but just a little bit, because the waves are getting further into the distance. So we don't want to give too much detail to the stuff in the back. And we don't want to spend too much time on the waves either, because we still have the trees and the ledge to do. But the hardest part is over, which is the little details in the waves. Okay, now we may start with the ledge and the trees. We'll put some of these colors away. So for the trees, we're going to use the green, but it is a little bit light when we have already colored all of this in. So don't worry, it will look a little bit like light green. So I'm going to start with the palm leaves. So with my green, I'm just going to follow the sketch lines that I've put in there. That is the first step. And on the top and bottom of this line, I will add tiny little strokes just to mimic the leaves of the palm tree coming out. Just like that. And you don't have to do this for every single leaf, because that would just take a lot of time. So for this big tree, we would like to have all of the leaves showing, but for the trees in the back, we can just very randomly put in the colors, because at that point, it's not the details. We can't even see the details. Draw one line for the middle of the branch first, and then on both sides, add the leaves. Keeping it nice and feathery. There's some leaves that are sticking out from the side over here. And for these smaller trees, you can just sketch in the bottom part of the leaf. For the stuff down here, you just do whatever. It can look like grass, it can look like a bush. You'll only need to show that there is something green in this corner and people will know what it is. Even for the little trees and far away. Just randomly putting green everywhere. Because later we will take some brown and black just to darken it all up. Right now, just use green. I'm doing circular motions. Okay, and that's about where I'll stop for the vegetation. But we're not done yet. So if you're ahead of me, you can take some black and brown. And these will just layer over some parts of the leaves to make it look darker. And we'll also add the trunk. Right, I'm going to move into the second part of the trees, which is the trunks and anything else that's brown actually. So I'll do this first one over here, starting from the top. And just do a natural swooping line to the bottom. Oops, made that a little too thick, but it's okay. And also get all these random small trunks in the background. After the brown, I will take the black. So the black is very pigmented. We have to be very careful when using it. But we're going to make the leaves darker. So following the lines that we made earlier, it's going to go over the green, but you don't want to completely cover the green. Just overlay the green with the black. And do the same for the other trees. And with the black, I'm going to go into the bushes over here and just pressing or just adding some black to show that there's shadows in the bushes. I'm not filling all of this in because we want to keep this green. Shading in the black wherever it is the darkest. And with the brown, I'm going to bring the trunk down actually first. You can also use it to blend out some of the green that might be too dark or no too bright. And of course, the last step is to draw in this ledge. I'm going to add orange to our list of colors. And for this, you can actually color all of this orange, and then we can go back in with the darker colors. So I'm just going to fill all of this in with orange. And you can take some brown, or even if you want some red, to color in the darker areas of this ledge. So things like this little dark patch over here, or the way it gets darker in the back over there. So I'm going to take the brown first, just darken up the ledge in the distance. So like this area would be a little bit darker. And over here as well. Once again, it does not have to be completely accurate. As long as, it looks like there's something the trees are growing on. And if you're feeling colorful today, you can use a blue, which is the complementary color to orange, and go in the areas where the brown is. Just add a little bit of blue in there. It'll just make it that much darker. Because what we're doing is we want to make this look different from, all this orange around it. We're just trying to differentiate the ledge. And I'm just using the black to bring down the bush a little bit. We're not quite done yet. I think we could add some of this, bring some of this whiteness, this lighter area, lighter patches on the ledge back. So I'm going to take this peach color and just along the edge, the ledge, add some of this peach, pressing really hard. The very final step, I think, is to add some of this, whatever random stuff is going on in the sand. It looks like footsteps, but it could also be animals digging holes. So I'm going to take some red, brown, and orange. First going in with the brown and just adding some of this random texture in the bottom. So first, these weird shapes on the side. Just sketching it out, just like you would shade an object. You can add some red in the dirt mounds that are closer to it. And you're just gonna blend it all out using this orange. But not blending too much, mostly just the edges, so they blend in with the environment. And one final touch is to maybe you can add some of this if you want orange lighting on the edges of this tree here. It's not very clear in the image, but you can add it, show where the sunlight is coming from. Especially near the top. It just adds a little bit of that color. Doesn't make that much of a difference,